Good evening and welcome to the May 14th, the June 9th, 2025 Public Ways meeting. First order of business is approval of the minutes. You've had the opportunity to read those. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the minutes have been approved. Now we're into our public participation. Seeing none, we will move forward and go on into, do we want to go with Mario? Or, okay, let Mario introduce himself?
Yes, so
okay.
I wanted to bring Mario, our new code enforcement officer, to the committee this evening, invited him to come down. Not to give you an interpretive dance of what he does during the day, but more to introduce himself as to who he is, his experience in the code enforcement area, and just get to know you. I know that his position has been vitally important to this committee and other committees of council and to our community as a whole. And he's doing a tremendous job in just a couple of weeks with us, really starting to address some of those areas that we haven't had an opportunity to address, at least to the threshold that you would have liked us to do that. So with that, I'll get off the record.
So my name is Mario Caruso, formerly code enforcement officer in City of Wadsworth for about a year. So learned a lot over there with the different issues that Wadsworth has on the forefront, and been living here in Wadsworth for a little over 9 years. So wanted to make sure that I was able to learn, be a sponge over there, and then translate that over to the community that I live in, and try to make this place a little nicer than it already is. So driving around throughout the city, noticing issues and taking a more proactive approach has been what I've been doing in my 6 weeks so far here with the city, and gotten to know a lot of the sort of heavy hitters, so to speak, with some of the issues that have been going on, and gotten to speak with a lot of different property owners in regards to some of their issues prior to like letters or anything like that going out. But just trying to take it one day at a time and get some things taken care of that have been an issue in the past. So.
That's good.
Thank you.
Welcome and thank you for what you do, because it's not easy.
No.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the parks, and we'll start with Mr. Bellick on Memorial Park North Phase.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. As you all know, we had a ribbon cutting on Memorial Day weekend. It was nice getting the entire park open back up again, with splash pad, restrooms, the playground that we did earlier in the year, or the previous year. That being said, it's been very well received. Had a lot of positive comments, and a lot of people have been going through the park and really enjoying all the amenities that we have out there. It's been heavily used the past week and a half or so, with the weather being nice. It's been really good to see the community out here enjoying it. Both residents and non-residents have been in and really taking advantage of the area. With that being said, the landscaper's in this week. Right now, today, they're out there planting shrubs and trees and perennials in various parts around the park. After that's done, he will go through and do the final grading and get seed and straw down to get the grass established in that area. The concrete work has been completed, so everything but the sidewalk networks, the speed tables, all the concrete curbing is all finished at this point. That way the landscaper can grade up to those areas and get things wrapped up. Lighting for the pavilions was on back order. We're expecting that to come in within the next 2 to 4 weeks. So once that's in, our electrical contractor will be out there to get those installed. We installed a Gaga pit just to the west of the zip line feature, so it's kind of situated between the zip line and the pavilion. That's something that's been very well received as well. It was a nice feature to have in there. It's a very popular thing these days, the Gaga pits. We're having a sand volleyball court installed this week at some point. Probably looking at bids the later part of this week, so that'll get installed. Along with that sand volleyball court, that's where we're going to be putting a light post, or a light and a camera, another camera to put out there. And then lastly, the area between, on the north side of the park, over by where the retaining wall is, between the park and the safety tower, is the area that we're going to be using those old structures from the old Kaleidoscope playground. So we're going to make an area there, kind of pay homage again to the old structure that was there. That's all
Great.
I have for the Luton Park.
Great. Any questions?
What type of maintenance is required for that sand volleyball? Probably not much.
Not really a lot. You basically just dig an area out, put a foot of sand in it, and add sand to it as needed.
As needed.
Okay. Other questions?
I have a comment to that. One of the biggest requests we've had since the project started 2 years ago was, when is the volleyball court coming back, or where are we going to play baseball or softball at the field's gone. So it was very popular before we took it out, and I think it will be very popular once we put it back in. And that's used after hours, if you will, too, so that's why it requires a light. So it's pretty popular.
Great.
Very minimal ongoing maintenance with the last court. And it showed at times, so we hope to do a better job with this court. It'll have new netting and areas, so we'll be able to stay on top of
Like weeds growing through and all that? Like,
it. It really didn't have a lot of that. Your edge was more of the issue that you had to take care of, because, and Mr. Bell can speak to it a little more, the way we use the base, the way we use the sand mixture, it actually works pretty well.
Okay.
It's keeping animals out of the
yeah,
challenge.
when Kaleidoscope was there and they had the sand area, I never let my kids play in it. Never.
Smart mom.
Oh, no.
I did feel to mention too, in the old outfield where the baseball field used to be, we have 2 t-ball fields now.
Okay.
So the
good.
base
Great.
Oh, good.
And the base paths are in there. So that'll be, moving forward. We're going to finish out our t-ball season out at Free Park for this year, and then we'll move over to the
Okay.
field for the next season.
Great.
We're actually using it as a kickball field, so it's already getting used.
Good.
Yeah, so that'll be nice. And, I have young ones in t-ball, so what a great place to have practice or a game, and then they can
Go
scoot
play.
right over to the playground and put on the splash pad. So it's a great use of the area. There's plenty of room out there to get.
Very good.
Awesome. I know we've had some out-of-state reviews, and somebody local put some reviews out through a big Facebook group, and I saw where people wanted to make day trips from Pennsylvania and West Virginia to come to our park, which I think that, we want it to be a destination, and it is. So I think it's a well-done job, and kudos to you guys for making it happen as quick as we did.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about the Pocket Park.
All right, so the Pocket Park, not really much to report on that. The only addition that we have done since the ribbon cutting that we had, we did a little bit of some accent lighting on the walls, the cedar walls that are on both the north and the southern side of the park. Just to kind of, it's not there for actual lighting purposes, it's more just kind of create an ambiance to the park. So they look nice, and people enjoy that as well. We had our second concert, which was kind of our first concert of the season, considering the first one was rained out this past Friday in conjunction with First Friday. Very well attended. That people really seem to be enjoying the space. They utilized the space the way it was intended to be. And it was a nice turnout to have down there this past Friday.
I want to compliment you on that lighting. Anything you add a little bit, and it's not very costly, and adds to the appearance and the usage, is well worth it.
Absolutely, and I
Yes.
can't take credit for that. I was actually director of his job. So.
Okay. Whatever. I want to give you guys credit, because instead of doing the minimum, if you go a little bit above and beyond, it's always better for everything.
Yeah, and again, it is. It's truly, it's kind of, I call it icing on the cake.
Yes.
It really sets it apart. It's a great area, and it's all the time and effort that's spent put into both the Pocket Park and the destination blue tip playground. It's really worthwhile seeing so many people go out there and enjoy it. And it really is a nice thing to see. It makes it all worthwhile.
It's very nice. Thank you.
Any other?
I can add in, I know it's a little bit farther down in the agenda, the dedication plaques for both of those areas. I will tell you that I am working on that right now, getting some costs and some designs with that. I can tell you it will also be pretty similar to the one that's over at the new fire station inside the lobby there, so we'll be able to report more on that.
Great, thank you. Any other comments on the pocket park?
No.
Okay. Free Park project update?
I'll start with that and then Erica's going to wrap up. So if you may recall, we had a number of projects that we had budgeted this year. We wanted to design and construction this year. And so we had a very aggressive time schedule with a number of projects, and this is one of them. And it's pretty much on schedule, so it's going quite well. We've really been pleased with the consultant. A lot of back and forth. Budget, this has been a key issue, because keeping within budget has been quite challenging on this one. And so we're looking like we're going to be seeing some prepared to go into construction here in the next couple months, I think, if all goes well.
I would just piggyback on Mr. Davis' comments to say that it has been challenging budgetarily there. We're going to explore purchasing not only the equipment and the field accessories, but the work through a cooperative purchasing agreement. We think that'll streamline some of not only the time frame that we need to eliminate a bidding process and those kind of things, but are also, we're hoping to see some cost savings by unifying that under one general and their subs in terms of getting the work done. I still believe that we have some challenges with our given budget, but we have worked hard with our design team to stay within that budget. It might mean that I come to the committee and all of council to say, can you live with a couple months of no playground, probably during the winter, and then we put it in the budget, perhaps, and get that constructed early next year, if you will, for a playground? Or is that a basketball court that we have plans for, but we just hold off until next year's budget is approved and put it in there? Or a portion of the parking lot, do we hold off now? Meaning, remember, if we go to construction, it'll be under construction for most of the remainder of the year, not being used yet. We'll pass our budget ultimately during the end of this year, and we'll be ready to go early next year to get those additional amenities on. It won't be that we're saving dollars, it'll be additional cost dollars that will go towards those other accessories, so that we have a nice finished product come springtime to provide to our community. Not saying that's the way to go. I'm still going to push for everything we can do under our current budget. I just want to be reality-based and always want to let you all know what I know at those times. So I think that's the way I see some of the project developing as we move forward. Again, none of that is a result of our design team. They have really been wonderful to work with. They've just been reality-based with us and saying, hey, I think your number's short of what you might end up in one. Still going to try, but the reality is I think we're going to be taxed, if you will, in a different format to get to that finished product for our current budget.
And that makes sense, and I think, we want to do it right, so if we have to do it in a different year, phase it like we have other things, I think that just makes perfect sense. But to do it right like we have the other facilities, like Mr. Parrish said, we want it done first class the best we can.
And the hallmark of that park improvement, as the committee well knows, is really getting the city's first synthetic turf playing surface
Right.
there. And that is what we have focused on as an engineer, administrator team, and our design team. Let's get that in under our current budget and see where we go. Might mean us using the old lights, which we are planning on doing, but maybe we get an alternate to see what a brand new lighting package is. Maybe it comes in the way it was. Oh, no thanks, we'll use our old lights and move forward with that. Maybe that means keeping the pavilion like we're planning on doing, keeping the pavilion, upgrading some of the LED fixtures, cleaning it up, painting it, but we've got our pavilion already. Using our CXT bathroom to really upgrade the bathroom, which we don't have out there, but maybe we hold off on the entire paving of the parking lot, or maybe we only do the base course initially and then come back and top course it next year. Maybe it means the playground waits until early next year before it's funded, and then we move forward with it in the springtime. Basketball court too. We're trying to get all we can out of the dollars we have.
Makes perfect sense. Thank you. Any questions on Freed Park?
No.
Weatherstone Park update.
Start that off again, that's, we have a different consultant in that project. That was one that was really a planning level budget for this year, and we're making very good progress. We've had almost done with that phase of the contract at this point. We've had some discussions about the planning and phasing and all that, and then pretty soon we kind of knowing what our costs we'll be looking at, so the budget for next year. It's already planned in the capital budget, but make sure we have a good number. So that's been, again, on schedule and doing quite well.
Again, just for the committee's recollection, really the improvement to Weatherstone Park is all about the parking lot there, if you recall how poor it is to circulate and around, and the dangerous ingress-egress point. So we're centering up the ingress-egress point, expanding and cleaning up the current parking lot, adding parking sort of in an L formation, if you will, along the western edge of the property, going a little bit further, adding a playground structure. As we all know, families go up and they're able to watch the game, but the other little ones who are not participating need something to do. So we'll have adding a playground there, putting in some sidewalk structure or system, if you will, so you can get from the parking lot actually over to the field. We do have an ongoing drainage issue between the two fields, so we're thinking about a solution there that would put some of the drainage underground, maybe having a nice, flat, safe surface for families to view the events on both fields going on from a flat cement surface, if you will, but still keeping enough of the grass areas to make it still park-like, if you will. So it's all about the accessories to the ball fields in that park improvement project.
Questions? All right. Ball field maintenance, oh, I'm sorry, let's go to the Brickyard. I skipped the Brickyard.
So for Brickyard, again, it's going very well, this one as well. We've had a nice kickoff meeting with our consultant and really emphasizing two main things. One of them is really to solidify and finalize that access coming off 94 through St. Ed's. So they're going to do some wetland investigation for that and some survey work, so that's being done right now. Top priority to get that settled, and then the second part we're focusing on is really getting moving forward as quickly as we can on the passive park to see how quickly we can get those, because really that is there's nothing preventing that from being done once the plans are ready. That's really the simplest to do of all the things we've done. So those are the primary two emphasis of the initial kickoff, and then of course they're still going to work on the main athletic components of the park, and that's not been delayed. It's just really kind of figuring out how to emphasize this initial kickoff. So that's a very, very good direction we're headed right now.
I would echo Mr. Davis's comments. The only other thing I would add, which was exciting news, which was mentioned at the previous EDP meeting, that the city was awarded a $2.1 million brownfield grant from the state, which is exciting, great developments. We haven't seen the agreement yet at this point. It was just noticed last week. So we're looking forward to getting that agreement, digesting it, understanding what it's going to entail to accept those dollars. But in the end, I know the committee knows that we had some remediation needs on that particular property, and so that's why it was attractive for us to do that. Mr. Morris and Ms. Anderson did a really nice job under the gun in a quick timeline turnaround to get an application, meaningful application down to the state, which was evaluated and obviously became a winner for us. So again, put that $2 million together with the $2.5 million we have from the state already, going to really making positive headway on reducing the overall public dollars from our community going into that improvement. So great work by the entire team on that particular area. And just a quick comment, as Mr. Davis said, I think again our design team has been wonderful to work with. I'm really hopeful in the next 14 days or so, I'll be able to have a concept of the Brickyard layout for council to see. I think we're getting close to that stage where we can throw that out. Again, remember, it'll be a phase one concept design for athletic complex, ingress, egress points, all of the accessories included with the athletic complex, and then the layout of the house. First steps.
Good news. Any questions?
No, good.
Okay. Ball field maintenance update.
I'll jump in and tell the committee, as you know, we at the direction of the committee, we really pivoted earlier in the spring and tried to get some ball field maintenance work, which has long been overdue, done. I think it's been well received. In particular, we analyzed and then added conditioner on Weatherstone Field 1. Had a little bit of growing pains after the initial installation of that conditioner, but it's really done well over time as it's weathered in a little bit. We added tarps to home plate and pitching mounds throughout all of the community fields. I think for the most part that's been well received, although we did have a concern with some moisture buildup at one of the fields under the tarps. Again, I'm not sure if that was a installation issue or strictly how much rain we really did get. Might not have allowed it to dry out. My hope is that once we get through the current season, that we'll be able to analyze maybe 2 more fields, and maybe do some fall work on one of those 2 fields, and then really turn around early spring next year before the season starts and get another field done. We'll have to come back and add to Weatherstone 1, because again, remember, only conditioner was placed on that field. We'd like to get the actual ball field that's down on that field. And then certainly Weatherstone 2, the softball field, it needs quite a bit of work, not only conditioner, ball field mix, but also needs some laser grading work done. If we can solve that drainage issue with the design too, I think we'll really have a really nice ballpark there.
And I've noticed, just driving around during the day and stuff, I'm seeing the tarps are on the fields, and
Yes.
even the kids, you know, they're showing up, but they're not taking them off until it's time to take them off, which is, it's nice to see that, you know, we're putting time and effort in and money into it, and the teams and the coaches are doing the right thing that we've asked them to do, so.
You are absolutely right, Mr. Russell. It does us no good to put them out and then they not use them
Right.
properly, or don't put them back on when they're done. So I would agree. I see that the tarps are being used and replaced and taken off at appropriate times. And in the end of the day, tarps are a proven commodity. They do help keep those areas dry. Might or having one issue in one field, I'm not quite sure how to explain that.
Any questions on that?
No.
No, sir.
All right, let's move, move on to the E.J. Young Memorial.
Yeah, that's my particular area to report upon. So if the committee recalls, we went out and saw bids earlier in the spring for an interest in helping us design and come up with a design and construction for the E.J. Young Memorial. That met with really zero interest from folks out there in the public. So what I've been trying to do is solicit some assistance from some Columbus-based communities who have art in their parks, if you will, rather, how they went through their whole process, how they did it, how they found artists, how they found talent to do that, what process that they used. And actually just today, I had a phone call with a community in the Columbus area who has been very successful with those areas, and they've led me to a couple of different individual entities to talk to who are really greater arts councils and can really help us engage. So I was able to finally make contact with those folks to, at least with this group that I actually made contact with most recently. I think it's been the most fruitful of all the entities that I've talked to about what our next steps are. So Mr. Davis doesn't even know about that conversation. So what I'd like to do is get my notes together, meet with him this week, and then maybe we can plan on how to move forward. Also wondering if there's some of those art councils here in Northeast Ohio that we can tap into that maybe could help us with what we want to do out here.
I'll help you with that.
Perfect. That's great. That's great.
Okay.
That's my update on that.
Any questions, comments?
No.
All right. Let's move on to streets, sidewalks, and parking lots, the 2025 Street Improvement Project.
So the street improvement projects, really most of these are moving quite well through the process for this year. Mullen Paving was selected for that program, and well under budget, and they're supposed to be getting started here very, very shortly. So that's that's on schedule, it's supposed to be done here somewhere by the end of summer. Just
Okay. Any questions? Street striping.
That one has just closed its bidding process. We bid opening on the 3rd. It's been issued to a company called Aeromark. And we don't have, we're still going through the contract process with them.
Okay.
Again, we're marching along and getting all these things done according to schedule. Kudos to our team and to Andrew in our office for getting this stuff kind of marching very, very well through these projects.
Good. Crack sealing?
Crack sealing, Wolverine Seal Coat has been awarded that a while ago. They're one, so they didn't really have a good schedule for us. They just more committed to getting it done for the summer, but apparently through it's kind of a fill-in work, kind of a thing where they fill it in as they can through the summer. So not a solid schedule on that.
Okay. And the sidewalk improvement program.
So improvements is repair and asphalt. Again, that's here starting here in June, and supposed to be done here somewhere early fall.
And then street sweeping contract?
I know that was awarded, and actually the street sweepers came through in their first round before first Friday.
Yeah, I saw two of them around town.
Yeah, so they've been out already. Sorry, I don't have the name.
That's all right.
Off the top of my head.
Any questions on that? Okay. And I'm sure we'll see them after the Blue Tip Parade.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
All right. Wintergreen Street Sidewalk Project update?
Okay, that is one that's, we are working on the documents right now, and it's supposed to be going to bid here in July. And as of now, there's a confirmation that the money is available from WC. That money just became available recently. So that's on schedule, and it should be getting done this summer as well.
Okay. And then the College Street and Treese Road grant applications?
So that's one, we have an update for that. There's 2 grants that we had applied for. One, we just confirmed here this week that or last week, that the better of the 2 grants was denied. It was more competitive. It had a higher threshold. It had no match. Much more interest from the state. That was the one we weren't expecting, and we've now been turned down for that one. I've reached out to the other grant who said that we were kind of a shoe-in, so to speak, on that second grant, and I have not heard back from her as an update for that. That's the one that was, like I said, slightly lower. It's a $2 million threshold compared to 3, and then it's a 10% match. So that's one we're still waiting to hear back.
Okay. College Street temporary repair update.
I can field that one. I know that some of the members of the committee might be familiar with social media, so we had an interesting description of those. Very funny, actually. I on describing the looks and the aesthetics of our repairs. I will tell you this, that and I know the committee fully knows this. You know, the repairs we were looking to do were not permanent repairs at all. We were trying to smooth the surface, level the surface in a much temporary capacity to get us through to the period of time where we have summer events in that particular stretch of College Street and areas on College Street, where we have the parade coming through and making sure that the surface was solid and safe for folks to be using and walking on it. And then we also knew that we didn't want to expend too many tax dollars into this improvement because in the next year and a half or so, we're hoping to come through and complete it with a full depth repair and new surface. So while it wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing, and I agree with the comments of our community about those things, it was a good job by our crews and it met the needs and demands of what they were asked to do. So I don't know if there's any other questions that I can answer.
No, and I read some of the comments too, and it was hard not to try to explain that this is a temporary, that this is all probably going to be torn out in a year or two, and they'd be throwing good money after bad money. And so hopefully some of the people out here are listening, and they can get the story out to everybody that this is all temporary, and that's why we called it a temporary repair project. So. All right, the Southwest Parking Lot Project update.
Yes. We're working diligently. We want to thank the committee's support of the structure item in that particular project that was all passed along to the design team, who are also equally excited to get those marching orders moving forward. They're working on a finalized quote for some of the items on that particular structure. We are very, very close to the end of the concept phase. I think we're actually there. We're just waiting on some feedback from the design team. I think some of the primary folks on the project were out last week, so we're hoping to see something from them this week. And then I think, well, I know they've already been working on sort of getting construction documents in order, getting ready to go out for bidding for that particular project. This again, as Mr. Davis had mentioned on a prior project, this is both a design and construction this year project, so we're looking forward to getting going as soon as possible, getting that out to bid and awarding that contract moving forward. So exciting things happening there. I think if our concert series and our downtown activity is any indication, we really need that parking lot to be done as soon as possible. So we're looking forward to getting going on that.
Great. Questions? All right, City Hall East Parking Lot Project update.
Just a brief introduction, this is the same thing, this is one of those construction project, design and construct this year. We've got a couple iterations with the developer, with the design consultant, and it's particularly challenging to create these different areas. We have some of the police area, we have some secure areas, potentially areas that might need to have access for the museum, and then so there's getting these different zones. It's been challenging to get to a final product, one-way, two-way, all those details. So that we just got some conceptual plans just recently, and we owe them some comments back. In fact, his guy and I haven't quite conferred on where we stand on that as we speak now. So we'll be getting some comments back to the consultant here very shortly. It's moving forward nicely. It's just taking a little longer than you think for a simple parking lot. There's one going on.
It's an odd-shaped area, and you're working around a building, so that makes perfect sense. It's a very strange layout over there. So, all right, the State Route 94 Reimer Road intersection improvement.
So that there's a request for qualifications on the street right now. That those are due on Friday. We've got quite a bit of interest even before. There's this kind of cone of silence phrase that's used where once it's on the street, no one gets to call me and ask questions. It's kind of a, I don't know if it's a legal thing or a cultural thing, but so I don't know exactly what interest there is right now, but before we headed out, the people we heard about it, I heard quite a few people were interested. So I'm expecting to get a pretty good pile of consultants with interest in this project. So we'll see, but we've met with the state on site, we've gone through their process. I've already talked about all the training that I've completed very proudly. I didn't stab my eyes out or anything the whole time. So that we're get protocol set for that to move forward, which we can consultant.
Is it training on how to go around the roundabout?
Process, it is very complicated to see how the ODOT does projects.
I can only imagine.
Now, tonight at Senior Commission, we had some questions about the West Reimer Road and that intersection, and then the speed of people coming around the corner, coming south on 94, and how hard it is to turn left and so forth. So they're worrying about our senior population, and we're increasing it, and so how are we gonna address that and so forth. And one of the people said there at the thing, hey, take the traffic light from where it is, where you're gonna put the traffic circle and move it over. I mean, I don't know if that would be any good, but they were trying to figure out how to slow it down and how to make that turn better. And they were very concerned.
Yeah, then there'll be a public process to get
Yeah.
But these are the people I've talked to, just in passing before. I mean, there's the art of roundabout design. It's an art, and these people are. It's something I have not done a lot of, but there's a lot to it, and it will definitely help traffic safety.
Yeah, and the west side too. I mean, that's what we're looking at too. The west primer too. Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure that was brought forward, and it's been brought forward before.
These are professionals who really they know what they're doing, and will have a good product.
Good.
Let's move on to the airport, the Pappy project update.
Okay, we have I think last time we mentioned the bid is closed. We have a low bidder, Home Electric, PREM, compared to Asphalt, PRIN. And so the process for the grant with the FAA is you submit your bid documents to them and they approve them, so we're waiting for that confirmation, and then once we have that, we're ready to go into finalize the contract and hopefully start construction here by the end of summer.
Good. And then the AWAS update.
AWAS, not a lot of updates. There's a siting study that's underway that's still going on, and so that'll be continuing through this cycle, and then we will look at going back for the construction for the grant process for next year.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. And the apron project update out of the airport?
Apron, just like with Pappy, the apron has been awarded to a low bidder, or this draft form that's been sent to FAA, just like the other one, North Star Asphalt is the low bidder. So those two projects, we're waiting for both of them to get confirmation before we can move forward with construction.
Any questions?
No.
Anything else from administration? Anything from our council members?
No, thank you.
Okay, without any further ado, I will entertain I'll tell you the next meeting will be on, I believe, July 14th, if I looked at my calendar right. All right, July 14th, 6 o'clock here in council chambers, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We are adjourned.
Okay.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.